Shalom Akim, Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai Bashem, Pakwadash, this but Menashe DC camp with another short lesson to identify the hopeful elect. The one Ratazar. It's going to be a short video, alright, short lesson, alright, because you see the title on the screen, alright, this was before World War II in Germany. He says that the burning of the books. Alright, so you know how T-Men is, they're so smart, but at the end of the day, they end up being foolish. Alright, because the Most High didn't give his Edomites any wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the precepts of righteousness to hold on to. Alright, it's not their inheritance, so what do you expect them to do? Alright, they're going to go on a rampage, destroying and destroying and destroying. That's the spirit of Esau. No matter how smart he is, he ends up heading in the direction of destruction. All right, so it's beautiful to see these things that Lord Yahweh Shai just let us know day in, day out that prophecy is currently taking place. All right, it's taking place. All right, and it's gonna heat up, man. All that tension, it's not going nowhere. It's gonna come to the surface.
In Berlin, wie in anderen Universitätsstädten Deutschlands, wurden undeutsche und unsittliche Bücher von den Studenten eingesammelt und öffentlich verbrannt. Der Scheiterhaufen auf dem Opernplatz in Berlin.
And that's a huge bonfire of books. All right, so if you go deep into the history of what happened around that time, was when Hitler was elected. All right, the so-called National Socialist Party, and they decided to promote their so-called national interest. So these young folks, you know how it is. They decided to, put in their 2 cents. What can they do? But it's all a scheme of the elites, man. All these trial runs. All right, so because you have the Hitler Youth way back then, so you won't be surprised. The people that were involved in this book burning, all right, they talk about the so-called Nazi soldiers, that persecuted the Amalekites and put them in concentration camps. But you haven't really heard much of those people that participated in the book burning. All right, that'll be some research I'll need to look into. All right. So I get a quick precept, because in these last days, man, they're going to come after the men of the Lord. All right, just like YouTube is taking down channels, that's similar to book burning. That's exactly what YouTube is doing. All right, you bring out the truth, and then it hurts a lot of people. All right, it hurts our people. That the 2/3 of our people, it hurts this Edomite, it hurts these heathens. All right, and then they end up, turning down videos. The elites watch the videos, the agents watch the videos, they get pissed off all of a sudden, and then they start putting strikes. They put strikes on your video, telling you that you violated Esau's, policy for video broadcast. Yeah, so that's how messed up it is. It's nothing new. All right, because people didn't have YouTube channels back then. You had so-called, all right, you have radio stations, you had newspapers, all right. So you could imagine, I'm sure TV has already been invented back then, all right. So just imagine the madness, all right, folks had to endure back then. So it's coming back, all right. That's exactly what Esau's all about. All right, he has to destroy whatsoever doctrine that does not suit his rulership. All right. So in the last days, I'm going to go through to something similar. All right, I'll go through persecution. All right. So this is Psalms chapter 64, start from verse 1. So to the chief musician, a psalm of David. Right. A psalm of Dawada. Right. Hear my voice, O power. In my prayer, preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. All right, so it's going to be terrible times we're going to be going into, man. I can't be afraid because of all the uproars, being stirred up against them. Right, for preaching the gospel of the Lord Yahweh Shai. But at the end of the day, your faith in the Lord Yahweh Shai is going to be solidified. It's going to be held steady and stable because it's a spiritual journey. All right, you can't be carnal. All right, you can't be thinking rationally like these people. You got to think spiritually. All right, the way the Lord Yahweh Shai wants you to operate. Okay. So, 64 verse 2, okay, Psalm 64 verse 2 says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. So they're going to come after you physically. All right, right now they're just putting out their policies, they're cutting down channels, all right. They're making false reports on ICAM, all right. They're going to do everything within their power structure to come after the man on the Lord. And you shouldn't be surprised, all right, when they come knocking at your door, when they show up at your doorstep, all right, when they show up to your job, when they pull you over as you're driving, all right, even when you're walking down the street, all right. So it's at any point in time, the Lord Yahweh Shai could let these Edomites come come fulfill some of their desires against us, but only for a limited time, all right. Right, because Most High will only cut it short. Okay, who whet their tongue as like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. All right, even bitter words. Psalm 64 verse 3. All right, let's start from verse 2 again. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword. All right, so they're gonna make up all types of allegations. All right, to demean the men of the Lord, the prophets of the Lord Yahweh Shai, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. So that propaganda, they're going to orchestrate it. They're going to coordinate, to do something terrible. All right. And then verse 4 says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear. Now, that's why you see in your emails the so-called policies from YouTube. All right, is your video made for children and all that stuff? All right, you gotta clarify that. And then you saying, and the other one saying, okay, well, your channel's no so-called commercially viable. But that's just part of it. Okay, that's part of the the journey, part of the experience, part of the adventure. All right, and then verse 5, they encourage themselves in an evil matter, they commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? And that's what they always do, always enact legislation to trap our people. But in these last days, the Lord Yahweh Shai is going to disappoint them.
Reichsminister Dr. Goebbels spricht zur Jugend.
Meine Kommilitonen, deutsche Männer und Frauen, das Zeitalter eines überspitzten jüdischen Intellektualismus ist nun zu Ende. Und der Durchbruch der deutschen Revolution hat auf dem deutschen Weg wieder die Gasse freigemacht. Und da kommt.
And that's exactly what these people do, man. Just like the so-called, the Ku Klux Klan, they burn a stake, the cross, they light it, right? They wrap some clothing that's been doused in fuel, then they light it up, So that's exactly what Esau's all about, man. It's all about causing disruptions, all right? You also have total control. So is this exactly what he's going to do?
Der deutsche Mensch wird nicht nur ein Mensch des Buches, sondern.
And that's what you see here in America. All those ideas of the Nazis, all right? It's already here, being implemented here in the United States government, all right? In your school system, all right? In your so-called financial systems, all tricks and gimmicks of the elites, All right, the same people that were behind the Nazis back then are the same people behind your so-called politicians in America and even in Europe. All right, so all their schemes, man, it's just serious. It's make you want to vomit. All right, but that's just the point there. You don't want to, go too deep because end of the day, man. All right, you can't put your trust in a society that's hell bent on destroying you. All right, that has a problem with the gospel of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, because the word of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai has no, no value to these Edomites. Okay, and I get another precept here, so I don't want to be too long-winded. So this is in the book of Second Ezra, chapter 16, verse 70. All right, it says, "For there shall be in every place and in next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord." All right, and that's exactly what the disciples went through. And this is exactly what many Lord will go through in these last days, right? Because people will be so excited to come against us, right? For preaching the gospel of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. You have bounties on your head, all right? If you see your picture posted all over the news, all over the internet, sent to people's cell phones, because they already branded you an enemy of the state, so they have to take you into custody. That's exactly what Esau is all about. He wants total control, so you have to cook up something. So this is Matthew chapter 6, verse 19. It says, lay not up, right? Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt. And that represents these people, all right? The ruling structure of Esau, his financial system, all right? His so-called democratic system, the system of education, all that stuff. It's not conducive for wealth that you want to last for a long time. That's why the words of the Lord is the main thing we need to hold on to. And where thieves break through and steal. So, they could bust in your house, take everything you have, take your car, take your furniture, take your jewelry, take your paintings, all right, take all the beautiful things that your family has had for generations. But when it comes to the words of the Lord about Shema Shai, they can't touch it. They might take the Bibles physically, but the Holy Spirit, they can't touch it, because it's hidden from them, all right? That's a spiritual gift from the Lord about Shema Shai, nothing that no one can take from you, okay? But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. All right. Then verse 21 says, "For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." And just imagine, folks, they invested so much money into all these bookstores, and all of a sudden, people just marching, bash, the cashier over the head, the store clerk over the head, break down the glass, break down the register, take all the books off the shelves, hard all your hard labor just taken to the end of the block, thrown into a dumpster, lit it up, with some fire. Yep. So that's how messed up, folks are gonna be in these last days. All right, when they see all their investments go up in smoke. All right, all that hard work. So this is the last precept I'll bring out. It's going to be from the book of Isaiah chapter 29. I'm going to start from verse 19, and I read to 21. Okay, it says, "The meek also shall increase their joy in the Lord Yahweh, and the poor among men shall rejoice in the Holy One of Israel." That's the elect. Okay, all right, we're the weak, with the feeble, that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is going to strengthen in these last days. All right. "For the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off. And that's what these people are all about, these Edomites and two-thirds of our people, including the heathen. All right. So the Lord Yahweh Shah is going to bring a heavy judgment upon their head. All right. Verse 21, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gates. All right. And lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gates. All right. That's how they pass all their, they pass the word on to their so-called, law enforcement agencies, and before you know it, you have agents creeping over the block, agents in your neighborhood, agents around where you work, daycare center, where you go pick up your children or your children in school, where your wife works, where your parents and your cousins and your siblings work. So that's how messed up Esau is, because he's already lost the battle. All right, he can't win, so it's gonna result to all this physical intimidation. Okay, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. All right, so our people, that are, keeping the words of Lord Abashima Shai daily close to their mind, need to expect persecution to come. Just like when you read the book of Sirach, it tells you, all right, prepare your heart for temptation. All right, do not be dismayed when you change to a lower state. So that's the point that I came. All right, hope you've been edified. Just make sure that you stay spiritual in these last days, because these people, these so-called modern day book burners, they're gonna come after you, man. All right, they're all colors, shapes, sizes. All right, professions. So that's exactly what you have to look for in these last days. Shalom.